There are two Americas today. If you walk around Washington, D.C., you can feel that. One group is thrilled about Trump's win. The other feels it's the end of America. And the middle ground? There doesn't seem to be any. In this divided climate, Kamala Harris broke her silence. She was slated to speak on Tuesday night, but as the results came in, she cancelled it. The campaign said it wanted some time, perhaps to make sense of the drubbing. Then yesterday, Harris returned to her campaign site, Howard University in D.C. She said the election is over, but the fight is not.
In our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves. This is a time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together.
To her credit, she didn't say stop the count. I know it sounds funny, but that's how low the bar is. Meanwhile, Trump had a busy day in Florida. He's at his home in Mar-a-Lago. Early on Wednesday, he delivered a victory speech, but after that, no one's seen him. Trump was busy responding to congratulatory messages. He also spoke to some world leaders like Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Britain's Keir Starmer, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Ukraine's Zelensky, French President Macron, and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. All of them congratulated Trump. They also called for deepening ties under his leadership. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris also called Trump. Harris called him to concede the election, and Biden invited him to the White House. Harris apparently told Trump to be a president for all Americans. Trump responded by praising her strength and tenacity. I guess that's politics for you. Your mortal enemies on the campaign and reluctant friends afterwards. But Harris and Trump talking to each other will not solve America's divisions. Yes, Trump won easily, but the people are deeply divided. Listen to some of them.
I was very confident that Kamala and Walz would win, but I guess our country is more uneducated than I thought, and I honestly gave the people the benefit of the doubt, which I guess I was wrong for.
I am at peace. I'm happy because now I see a future. I see that I can celebrate, and I see that something good is going to happen in the next 4 years. And if God wants, 8 more years with J.D. Vance.
I'm from New York. I've known this guy a long time. It's crushing to see him back in this situation. I honestly don't recognize my country.
All his life, he's been building and constructions and everything. He works with the people. And as an immigrant, I know a lot, but he says he hates Mexicans. He says he does this. No, he hates criminals. He doesn't like criminals.
Like I said, divided. Outside America, countries are bracing for Trump 2.0. They know what he stands for, but they also know that he is unpredictable.
We talked about having strong solidarity and partnership in the Asia-Pacific and global region based on the South Korea-U.S. alliance. And Trump first talked about North Korea, not just talking about the North Korean nuclear program, as he may have an interest in North Korea. The absolutely convincing result of the elections in America, the clear leadership of President Trump. I congratulate him on this victory.
I do not know Trump personally. I know Trump by listening to, watching, and reading his articles and by watching him on television. But I hope that the coexistence will be civilized, as I had with Bush, who was from the Republican Party, as I had with Obama, as I had with Biden.
Many things will certainly be different under a government led by Donald Trump. Donald Trump has always made that clear publicly. Our messages are clear. Firstly, Germany will remain a reliable transatlantic partner.
As expected, the last 24 hours have been interesting. Heartbreak for some, elation for others, and nervousness for the world. Amid all of this, a lot of people have been asking one crucial question. What happens to Trump's legal cases? Remember, he faces dozens of lawsuits across the US, some for financial fraud, some for sexual abuse, and also for trying to subvert the 2020 election. In one case, in New York, he was convicted. So what happens to these? Can Trump pardon himself for the New York case? Well, the answer is no. Presidents can only pardon federal crimes, and the New York case is a state lawsuit, so Trump cannot pardon himself. He is due to be sentenced on November 26th, but chances are it will be delayed. No judge will have the guts to drag a president-elect to the courthouse. And afterwards, what sort of punishment will Trump get? If it's jail time, he may be asked to serve it after he leaves office, which is in early 2029. If it's house arrest or community service, imagine the logistical issues. How can a president be confined to his house? The problem is there is no precedent for this. No convicted felon has ever been president of the US. So the New York judge faces a tough call. Beyond that, Trump also has federal cases. They are being investigated by the Department of Justice, a department that he will soon run. The man in charge of the probe is Jack Smith. Trump has promised to fire him within seconds of taking office. So Smith is doing the wise thing. He's winding down the investigation himself. But even that may not save his job. It tells you what's in store for the next 4 years. As president, Trump cannot be prosecuted, but he can be subjected to legal lawsuits. In fact, a lot of them are already pending. Trump has been asked to pay $570 million to different civil cases. He can use the might of the White House to delay that. Can he do that? Or maybe intimidate the defendants? America is in uncharted waters now, both legally and politically. Trump's own leadership and maturity will matter a lot in this time. Let's see how he tackles it.